The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening, everyone. I'm Francesca Brown, and welcome to the show. Tonight, we begin with the government following through on a long-standing promise. The Davis administration has officially announced that it will begin the demolition of shanty towns across the country. Now, officials say this move is about enforcing the law, protecting public health, and restoring order. But for families, many of whom were born here or have lived their entire lives here, it's a devastating development. So while the bulldozers may be ready, we have to ask, are we truly prepared for what comes next? Meanwhile, the opposition has been ramping up pressure. F&M leader Michael Pintard recently unveiled a 6-point plan called Operation Shield, which outlines his party's strategy for tackling illegal migration and land use, which what he calls structure, urgency, and transparency. Take a look at what he had to say.
We are committed to a housing revolution under the Free National Movement. We're not interested in keeping one group of people in one location. If you are here legitimately, you are gainfully employed, you are interested in owning housing, we are interested in helping to provide for all Bahamians, or whether you were born a Bahamian or you became a Bahamian, housing. And so we do not understand that for a government that says they are going to explode housing possibilities, why that has not been a part of the discussion, that as you demolish, you also seek to, again, say to people, here are all these opportunities that are available for you to find housing elsewhere. We're saying for the international agencies, work with us as we seek to regulate these unregulated communities. And in some cases, there's temporary housing that some of the international agencies, in partnership with churches and other groups in the Bahamas, who can assist Bahamians of natural birth or Bahamians otherwise who are now residing in those communities. So there are a number of solutions we believe are possible, and we certainly don't understand why the government isn't pursuing those opportunities.
Now, Pintard says this is not just a land issue, it's a national security risk. He wants new reserve immigration officers, tighter vetting procedures, and a criminal liability for landlords who house undocumented migrants. But on the other side, Prime Minister Philip Davis has struck a far less alarmist tone, insisting that there is no crisis and that immigration is already being handled properly. Here's what he had to say.
This is the most aggressive and focused immigration enforcement administration, I would say, in modern history. Over 13,000 repatriations in under 4 years. A detention center population at a historic low. 7 illegal shanty towns demolished. Active operations on multiple islands. We're not boasting, we're just doing our job. And while others talk, we act. But we cannot stop now.
So according to the Prime Minister, things are under control. He points to over 15,000 repatriations and says migrant landings are also down. But critics are not buying it. Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has taken a more direct line, arguing that the real issue isn't policy, it's enforcement. Here's what he had to say.
Are the immigrants the problem? The answer is no. We are the problem. We, the Bahamian people, are the problem. And the problem is corruption and greed. We have laws, we have sufficient laws, we have adequate laws. It's just a matter of enforcement. If we enforce our laws, then we won't have the problem. We come in this parliament, we pass laws. The PLP pass 80, the FNM decide they have to do 85, outdo them. The PLP come back and pass 90, the FNM come back 95. It's bragging rights, but are the laws effective? No. You don't have the resources, you don't put the manpower in place, you don't put the finances in place to deal with it, you don't enforce it. This is a beautiful country, and all we need to do is enforce our laws. The laws are there. We don't need to come to this parliament every darn week passing law after law which don't mean F.
Well, there it is. 3 different views from 3 different leaders. One says we need a new plan, one says we're already doing enough, and one says we have the tools, but we just refuse to use them. So again, we have to ask, what are we really doing? And who are we helping and who are we hurting? Well, joining us now is someone who has walked in these communities, spoken with the people who have been directly affected, and has been a long-time voice and for justice and human rights in the Bahamas. Welcome to the show, Luby Georges.
Good evening, Sani. Good evening, Bahamas. And thank you for inviting me and having me on.
No problem at all. Well, let's get straight into it. We have a lot to unpack tonight, but we'll start with an issue that a lot of people were talking about today, the demolition of the shanty towns, those planned demolitions that the government plans on doing throughout the country. What is the mood on the ground?
I think the mood is typically the same as it has always been. Persons are wondering what the moves are. When they do come in, what do I do? Where do I go? You just played a clip from the former Prime Minister, current Prime Minister, and someone who's hoping to be Prime Minister. And I think a little bit of each one of their statements has some truth, has some merit, has some veracity, and we can glean a little bit from all, and if we just mix that up together, I think we would be in a much better place, to be quite honest.
Now, what would you say to people who are saying, they sympathize with the plight of those that come here illegally? They know what's going on in Haiti, they know what's going on in the country, they sympathize, but we just cannot afford to continue to keep taking people on. And to those who say it's not fair, like I gotta pay BPL, I gotta pay $3,000 in rent, I gotta pay, I gotta pay, my real property taxes. Like I have to go about it the right way. Why is it that these people can come here, set up shop, and then expect to just stay?
And first of all, I think we need to really drive this conversation in a different direction.
Which is?
Or in another way. You started off by saying, again, these people coming in illegally. Now, I have said this since 2014 up to this date, and people, for whatever reason, hear what they want to hear, see what they want to see. Right?
Okay.
We have to move away from automatically assuming that every migrant or every black migrant or every Haitian migrant, firstly, is here illegally.
Okay.
Let's have a holistic conversation, firstly. However, I agree with you. I have to pay BPL myself. I'm waiting on my next bill. I have to pay the real property tax. I have to pay water and sewage. I have to pay my cable, internet. I am paying utilities and taxes into the government system. NIB on time, business license, all of that stuff. The question I have, though, while I understand, and in my personal opinion, I think we have more legal migrants than illegal migrants in the country. That's my personal opinion, based on my experience, based on my moving about within the country, right? While we may have, in my opinion again, more legal than illegal, it doesn't say that we don't have a illegal migration problem. I agree that we do. Migration management, I would say, is not one of the strong suits of the Bahamas at this point, or up to this point. Migration management, I don't think we're the best at that.
Okay.
Right? But these persons that we're talking about, they're coming to the Bahamas for a particular reason. In migration, there is a push factor, there is a pull factor. Something is pushing you from your country, and we know what that is in
We know what's happening in Haiti, exactly.
Instability, economic opportunities, no jobs, schools, we know it. Why are they not sailing towards Cuba? Why are they not sailing towards Jamaica they are sailing, but not in the numbers that they're coming this way, because of the economic opportunities. These people are economic migrants looking for jobs. The reality is, though, when they get here, most likely they are finding jobs. They are being hired. And if I say, in my personal opinion, that the majority may be legal in the country with work permits, etc., are these people hiring themselves, though?
Okay, let's rewind. Before we get into, the hiring practices and I think you're trying to get with the conversation, let's get back on shanty towns for just a quick second, and then we could go there, right? Let's just wrap that one up in a nice little bow.
Sure.
The mood, like what's happening now, it seems as though there's a lot of pushback from these people that live there. And some of the things that have come out, reporters have gone there. There are legal and illegal Haitian migrants living in those communities, and some Bahamians, according to, reporters that have gone in there. But there's been a lot of pushback from the people who know that they're not supposed to be there, who don't want to leave. I don't want to say audacity because it's...
Who's saying there is pushback?
They're saying they don't want to leave. There was one group that sued the government because they felt like they had the right to be on that land. They did not want to leave what they called their homes.
Right. So now that particular instance or family persons that we can cite, did we find out, are they Bahamian? Are they permanent residents? Were they born here? Who are
There's
they?
a mix. There's a mix of people that are living there.
I'm talking about the ones who you're saying had that particular pushback.
There is a mix. There's a mix.
There's a mix from the pushback.
Yes, there's a mix.
I think the pushback has a lot to do with, okay, for example, let's look at Abaco. Hurricane Dorian smashed. Or even before Hurricane Dorian. Let's not even use that as an excuse. And I'm not trying to make any excuse. I'm a realist. And what I'm about to say, a lot of people just don't want to say it. Maybe some people who are higher than myself may have a little problem with me for saying this. But however, when you look at the dynamics of the Bahamas, economically speaking, there's Nassau, of course. We know that's the Freeport. Which island comes after Freeport? Maybe Abaco. Maybe there was a point when Freeport was at its lowest.
Yeah, I think it's probably
rising
like
back
Nassau.
now. That Abaco may have been considered the second economy.
City, yes.
The second city, economically, doing good, doing well. We understand, or if you speak to the Chamber of Commerce in Abaco, the business class, the second homeowners, and the developers in Abaco with the private estates and all of that good stuff. I don't want to call any specifically.
I
don't want to call any specifically.
Okay.
But what I want to say is there is a specific labor force required to sustain the work and the continued work and development on that particular island. I'm not making any excuses here. Please don't get me wrong.
No.
But listen to what I'm saying, Sandy. So, and yes, we're still going to get to that.
No. I'm listening.
It's still getting there.
I'm letting you find
it's
your way.
going to get there.
Okay.
And I know you know where we're going to get.
I feel like I know where you're going, but I'll let you find your way.
Right. But still, if you look at Abaco for an example, those persons that were living in the mud and the pee and that sort of thing predominantly were employed individuals.
Were they legally employed individuals?
I don't know, but they were employed. Somebody proclaimed that I needed and I wanted, for whatever reason, the services of these people.
Okay.
Because the labor force, to whatever extent, is required for that particular island, and mind you now, I believe that Bahamians could fill those positions. I do. My question is, why are you all hiring these people?
Okay, so I feel like you're trying to say that the illegal immigration problem, and if
I'm
words in your mouth...
I'm not saying the illegal immigration problem.
Okay, the immigration problem that we have...
Migration management, yes.
I don't know if it's migration management, because we're not doing a good job at managing the migrants.
All of that comes underneath the umbrella.
Your point that I think that you're trying to make is that they wouldn't be here if Bahamians and or developers, people in the construction industry, wouldn't hire them.
It's as simple as that, though, Sani. Migration again. Push factors, pull factors. You're being pushed out of your country for whatever reasons and turmoils and issues that you guys are having there. We understand that. You're being pulled towards a particular jurisdiction for a particular reason. There's a reason why they're seeking to come towards the Bahamas and not as much to Jamaica or Cuba.
So you think our laws aren't strict enough?
No,
Because
I'm not
is it
saying
the
that.
laws? Is it Bahamians? Is it
I
our
actually
fault?
think we have strict laws.
But
I do think we have strict laws.
So-
Listen, I'm an immigration consultant, and I'm not a...
no, we can talk about that next because I know where you're about to go. You're an immigration consultant. We'll finish that up. But okay, I get what you're saying. Bahamians employ them. They come because we employ them. We hire them, right? But just why not go through the proper channels then? You have to understand why Bahamians are frustrated. You have to understand why people are frustrated.
But on the flip side, I think we keep casting the blame on the migrant.
You have to take some of the blame, though.
Of course they got to.
Yeah.
I agree.
They have to take. You are here illegally.
Shanty,
okay.
Again, let's stop. Are we talking about the illegal ones, or are we just talking about everybody?
We talking. The problem I think most Bahamians have is illegal migration.
The illegal ones, right?
Right.
Cool.
So you didn't come here properly.
Firstly,
you didn't.
do we have an understanding of how many undocumented individuals here?
No, everybody you ask, they
We
give you
don't.
a different number. But I think
Okay, and because we don't, I suspect that we just automatically assume that the majority or everybody is. Or we approach you from that perspective beforehand. So I assume
well, if they repatriating 15,000, that means a lot of them are here illegally. If we keep having repatriations,
or maybe it means a lot aren't here illegally.
Okay, we're gonna put a pin in that right there. They play the music.
We may have gotten rid of.
We're gonna take a break. We'll be back with more of this conversation right after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Hey guys! The IL Cares Foundation invites you to our Back to School giveaway on August 23rd at the University of the Bahamas, Poinciana Drive entrance. Join us for a day of free school supplies, food, and fun as we help prepare students for a successful school year. We are also going to be on the Family Islands on August 23rd from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. All are welcome, so come on down and support the community with IL Cares. At IL Cares, we care.
enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're having a conversation about, could I call it illegal immigration? Because every time I call it that, I think you change it to something else with our guest for tonight, Louis Georges. Welcome back to the show. And for those of you who are just joining us, welcome. I think we stopped shy of discussing why illegals choose to come to the Bahamas versus going to other islands. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it seems as though you were leading the conversation to say they choose to come here because Bahamians employ them. Is that what you were getting at?
That's in its most simplest form. Again, migration comes down to push and pull factors.
Okay.
You're being pushed out of your country for whatever reason. Again, we agreed that everyone understands what's happening in Haiti. And you're being pulled towards a particular jurisdiction. They could have decided to swoop around the DR and go to Puerto Rico. Why are they not heading there? They could have decided to divert towards Cuba or Jamaica or sail the high seas and get down to Dominica and to Barbados, and those are the places where it took them 10 months to get there. But they're not heading there.
Well, maybe it's because their laws are a little bit stricter.
I don't think they are.
No?
I can tell you that our laws are very strict.
Okay.
I am a consultant. I apply for individuals. And for those that are thinking that, oh, we're paying somebody and all of this crazy stuff, listen, I can show you personally countless applications that were refused, clients that I submitted applications on behalf of, refused for various reasons. Our laws are strict. Now, the ones that are approved, I'm not making the decision. I don't know why or what the decision was based on. It's not like when it is refused, they say to you, hey, we're refusing this on the basis of. Just like when you go to the U.S. Embassy and you apply for a U.S. visa, sorry, you just don't qualify today. But you have the option, the right to apply again at a time that's convenient for you. That's all they say to you. Same thing with our systems. You apply for a tourist visa, they'll refuse and you don't know why. You apply for a permit, it's refused and they don't say why. A permit to reside can be refused and they don't say why. You apply for citizenship, naturalization, those are, countless of those are being refused and they're saying, and for persons who are born here in the country. Persons who are born here applying to be naturalized, being refused, and they're saying, you know what, we're going to give you resident. We offer you, we're not giving it to you, we offer you permanent residency in the place of Bahamian citizenship.
Okay.
People don't know about these things, and no one is really talking about that. And the department, in my opinion, I think maybe while the public and the narratives are running as they are not doing they could be doing a better job, in my personal opinion, of helping the Bahamian people to understand how many applications they're refusing on a daily basis, how many refusals and diversions are happening with citizenship. No, we're not going to give you citizenship, but we can say that you could apply for a permanent residency, even though you were born in the Bahamas. Those are happening on a daily basis.
I know we had a slight conversation off air when we were talking about the laws that govern the country as it relates to illegal immigration. And you said that the illegal migrants, they're scared, they're afraid now. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Man, listen to me. The immigration department and their enforcement units.
They're doing their job. Well, that's a good thing.
Sonny.
They're doing their job.
Listen to me. Immigration officers are on the road 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, all hours of the day.
Doing their job.
Doing their job.
Okay.
They're interdicting, they're arresting, they're going into the restaurants where they suspect that migrants may frequent, the food stores or variety stores that they think that migrants may frequent, the thoroughfares, the popular ones, they're on the red lights, they're this way, they're out east, out west. We see them. The repatriations. There is not probably a day that the return flights to Haiti, as an example, return flights are elsewhere being, people are going to, but to Haiti, the return flights. I had a friend who, for those that don't think that Haitians visit, I had a friend that left today. He came in Saturday past and left today. He lives in Haiti. He came, he visited for a few days, Saturday, today, Wednesday, he left. Before coming here, he was telling me about the experience at the airport and heading back to Haiti, and said that there were a family that was denied entry or denied landing and that were being sent back. And then he was explaining that he spoke to one of the officers and they explained, and I said, wow, that makes sense. Like, if I was an officer, I would deny an entire family landing also.
Okay.
And notwithstanding that there are Haitians, like, why would we give them a blight? It doesn't make any sense. How can you claim that you're coming to visit for 2 to 3 weeks, adults, 2 kids, but yet no credit cards available and one person has $800 on them? Like, well, that's a red flag. 2 weeks, 4 people, $800? Nah, y'all probably came to stay. I would deny you landing also, and listen, y'all going straight to the detention center. Before y'all go there, we going downstairs. If you came on Bahamas Air, we switching your ticket and make sure Bahamas Air has a seat for you on the next thing, smoking to Haiti. And that's what they did. And guess what? For those that are talking about persons coming through the airports, they should go and camp out at the airport and look at the amazing job that the officers are doing at the airport in sending people back or denying them entry, sending them straight to the detention center, and the next available day that there is a flight, they're sending them to Haiti. So while we talk about, and the PM talks about it, the detention center being at low numbers because they're repatriating at such a high rate.
But they
if
have to
they're
repatriate.
not publicizing it, then people are going to say, well, y'all ain't doing nothing.
Well, you repatriating at a high rate means that the people, they're still coming in at a high rate. So you can talk about people.
Tell me how. Unless there's a moratorium. If we decide, okay.
No, I'm not talking about people who are coming in legally from the airports. We still have boatloads that come, that land, that come here. I mean, if you're repatriating them, they're coming here some way. You yourself are saying that they're not coming in from the airports because our government is doing such a great job at the airport, our immigration, from stopping them. So they have to be coming in some way.
But let's understand immigration for a second. There are many ways to end up being an undocumented migrant.
They're still coming in illegally, is the point. No. If they're not coming in through the airports.
You can come in legally and still end up being undocumented.
But that's not how. Now let's be honest. Now we're gonna talk.
So are you saying? Are you suggesting to me that sloops are still landing in the numbers?
We have the immigration reports that say that it does. I don't know if it's in the mass amount of numbers that it had previously, but they are still landing. They are still attempting to come.
They're being arrested, right?
Arrested. Well, so the ones that are caught, all of them aren't caught, obviously. If we still have a high number of illegals that are here, all of them are not being caught.
Understand what I'm saying to you, though. If we have a high number of undocumented individuals, it does not mean that they entered illegally, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so they're not coming in through the airport. Right, but you just said that they deny left, right, and center at the airport.
I didn't say that they deny everybody.
Okay.
I gave an example.
But even overstaying is wrong.
It is. I gave an example of the stellar work that they're doing to try to curb it. So at the airport, that is one line of defense.
Okay.
Where logically the officers can use their discretion and say, you know what, this don't sound right. You ain't coming in. You got to go.
Right.
Now, should someone, let's say in the same instance, those same individuals, that family, let's say they had a credit card. Let's say they had some $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 on them, and they say that they're going to be here for 2 weeks. Kind of makes sense, eh? Or they had some hotel reservation, yada yada. They could stay. They may have slipped through, and then decided to overstay.
Still illegal.
Exactly.
I'm just saying it's still illegal. No matter if they came in legally initially. Once you overstay, you're still here illegally.
So now you're saying what I'm saying.
No, I don't know if we're saying the same thing.
I'm saying to you that the Department of Immigration, they're doing their job.
Okay.
One. Secondly, I'm saying that at the airport and other ports of entry, they're working and using their discretion. Thirdly, there are individuals that enter legally, but there are many other ways to end up being undocumented,
Okay.
quote unquote illegal. For example, again, overstay your visa. Persons who, let's say you came in on a work permit, and for whatever reason it wasn't renewed in time.
Okay.
You also are undocumented and subjected to arrest and deportation. You see what I'm saying? So there are ways and other facets that individuals end up being undocumented, but it does not necessarily mean that because we are arresting hundreds or thousands of undocumented people that they're entering illegally. That's what I'm saying.
Doesn't matter if they enter through the airport or if they come on a sloop, if they're still here illegally, still using our resources, still not contributing to society the way, and they should go.
And they should go.
Okay.
And I surmise, again, that the Department of Immigration, with the resources and personnel that they have available, and what I have personally seen and continue to hear on the ground, they are doing their jobs. Now, I don't know if we don't want them to sleep. I don't know if we don't want them to rest.
Well, I assume they work on shifts. But
okay, the police officers do their work on shifts.
I guess
the doctors do their work on
shifts.
shifts.
Yeah.
They do their work on shifts. Immigration also. But I can tell you, immigration is always on the road. Whether it be in Nassau, Eleuthera, Abaco, wherever, they're always working and they're arresting. They're in the shops. I've seen it personally. People be sending videos. If you don't receive it, doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, though. Now, if you want them to publicize every single thing, like for example, when the police roadblocks are happening and you're in the WhatsApp groups, people are texting, don't go by the bridge, don't go on the light by Blanco Beach on Fox Hill, there's a roadblock there. Do we want that? No, I don't think we want that, eh? So because they're not publicizing the work that they're doing does not mean that the Department of Immigration and their enforcement unit isn't working.
I didn't say that they're working. I do agree that they're on the ground doing what they have to do. But my question also to you is this. You're in these communities. You talk to them, legal or illegal. And the government has recently started charging people before the courts to, try to prevent them from returning.
Do you know something that I advocated for?
Well, they started charging people before the courts to try to prevent them.
To do that?
But my question to you is, when
So
they
that's money in the public purse.
continue to come back, but they still continue to come back.
No, but that's still outside
But
that. That's money in the public purse that we didn't have that I advocated for.
But your thing is that they're afraid. You said that they're afraid, but they keep coming back.
But if you
so when you talk to them about the fact that they keep coming back, why do they keep coming back? That's the question I want to ask you. When you walk into communities,
that's what I'm about to answer.
Okay.
When you weigh the weight of desperation, for many, it's already life or death. And you weigh economic opportunity or just be sent back here, I would be here anyway. What do you think people are going to do?
So when you talk to them, what do you tell them? What do you advise them as an
I
immigration
advise them
consultant?
on how to go about it the right way. I advise them on what to do. I advise them. I have a 12-minute video right now. If anybody goes on my Facebook page right now, the Department of Immigration just recently changed a few of their policies on how to apply for a work permit. And again, people don't apply for work permits on their behalf of themselves. But they announced a few new policies. It's in English. I did a 12-minute video in Creole, Haitian Creole, because I want them to know that this is how the Bahamas, the Department of Immigration says it must be done. Must be done. If you want to migrate legally here to the Bahamas, this is what the rules and the laws are. If you go against them, then you subject yourself to being arrested, brought before the courts, fined. If you can't pay the fine, you know where you end up? At B-Docks. Spend some time there and then transferred to the detention center and then placed on something smoking to Haiti.
And then they still coming back, according to you.
And then you subjected to that again. But we make some money over it.
You know, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about you. Because yeah, you're a hot topic, too.
Let's talk about the landlords who renting these people.
We're going to talk about you when we
downs.
come back. Because, you know, the people say you're making good money off of this government. That's what they say.
60K?
I don't know how much you're making. They say you're making good money off this government. And they say you're being used as a political tool for the election that's coming up. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back right after this.
Great.
After I was in a plane crash in June 1983, I lost my left arm. I had some good friends, came along, fishing guides. They said, man, we can teach you to fly fish. Exumo. Can you see? Look at it, man. One of the nicest places you want to be in the world. There were challenges learning to cast, learning to put a fly on a leader, learning to tie the different knots for me as a handicapped individual. As a matter of fact, I don't really feel handicapped because I could do everything, man. Anything anybody could do, I think I could do it too. Because with your mindset to do anything, no matter what you are, what you look like, what's happening to you, you can do it. Persons in our positions, it's hard to get fundings and very, very expensive. SBDC would be helpful in regards to help funding people with disabilities. So nothing is impossible if you're disabled, any kind of disability. Put faith in God and trust God, believe you will overcome.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience, with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back if you're just joining us. I'm here with Luby Georges. We're talking about the immigration issue in the country. We're shifting the conversation a little bit. We'll come back to the point that you were trying to make about landlords in a minute, but I want to get on you now because, you know, social media has lit up about you, not just since the show, but, you know, election season is ramping up, and we all know right before election season, you know, the silliness starts. And the rumor is that you work for the current government. You getting paid good to encourage the
60K good?
the league. I don't know how much you get paid. I'm not gonna ask you, but you get paid 60K.
Someone said that on Facebook.
You get paid 60K?
No, but someone
I'm
said
asking you. I don't know. I don't know what I'm asking.
You saw the video?
Your video?
No. Somebody's.
The video with you at the PLP rally?
Not that.
Which
Another
video? Which
It's
video?
going viral now.
Okay, well, no, well then you gotta.
Consultant, forget about Rodney Munker and God rest his soul, and Carlos Reed. The people want to know how much money are we paying him to consult.
Okay, so we want to know how much money the government is paying you to consult. Is the government paying you to consult?
Zero. I've settled this on my
You could
personal
look in.
page.
I think that's your camera right there.
I have settled this on my personal page, Sani. I have dealt with this on a few occasions with my boy, good friend, Naughty.
Okay.
We've dealt with this. I am not a consultant for the government of the Bahamas. I have never been a consultant for the government of the Bahamas. Someone said something very powerful to me today. He said, if there's no evidence, then there's no case to answer.
Okay, so are you not a consultant, or is there no evidence that you're a consultant?
You could be a consultant right now if you want to.
So now, see, now you had me until you said someone say if there's no evidence. So are you a consultant
I'm
with
not.
no evidence?
I am a private consultant. I run a firm like countless others in this country.
Okay.
Just on the stretch of road where my office is, there's about 4 to 5 consultancy firms. You go downtown.
But none of them are as popular as Louis George's. You've been doing this for a
firm
very long time.
I wish some business would come my way because of all of this crap, but.
Well, according to the people, according to what's going on, the business has come. Government is paying you a pretty penny to.
I am not contracted by the government. I'm not a consultant for the government. I have never been a consultant for the government. I dare any of you, COI, otherwise, especially y'all, please, I suspect it's the COI people, but please, post the contract. You got your link and your sources, your people in there that, you claim that are giving you the information. Please, post the contract. Do not try to knock the current administration and use me to do so. I know the immigration factor is the low-hanging fruit. While it is an issue, and we acknowledge that, but it is the low-hanging fruit. While we understand that, don't try to drag me and tie me into the government so that you can try to pull them down.
Well, it's hard for you to say that.
I do not work for the government of the Bahamas. I have never worked for the government of the Bahamas. Point blank. Now make that go viral, please. And make sure that the Prime Minister sees it because he knows that I don't work for him. I've never worked for him.
It's hard for you to say that and for people to believe that.
But I'm saying it on national television.
Let me tell you why. Can I tell you why? It wasn't a rally. I can't remember what they're calling it, a get-together, whatever it was. The link up. That's
Monday,
what it was.
2 Mondays ago?
Yes.
Oh, I was there.
Live. You were live there, looking like you support this administration. So you can't say on one breath no, and then you show up to, were you at the FNM
I say,
link up?
It could be all two.
Were you there? Were you at there?
Definitely.
You were there?
Live and in person.
Okay, well, we only saw you at the PLP.
Sani, both are true. I do not work for the government. I have never worked for the government.
Do you have a preference?
I think we all do.
I'm not going to ask you what your preference is. I'm just asking, do you have a preference?
I do at this point, yes. And I think we all do. And I'm sure you vote. I'm sure he votes. I'm sure the cameraman votes. Whether you declare your preference now or you present it and utilize your preferences and your biases or whatever you want to utilize to cast your vote on that particular day privately and secretly, we all decide who we want to vote for whatever reason. If I choose to publicly decide which position or side that I'm going to go on from now, that's my right. Based on what is presented before us right now, I have decided that one particular side makes more sense. Okay. That's my decision.
It is your decision, but you also have to see how it feeds into what people on social media are saying.
I understand
how it looks.
Listen to me. I understand that, but we must understand also that someone decided to create that particular narrative of me being a consultant with the government.
Okay.
I am not a consultant for the government. I don't have a contract with the government. I've never worked for or with the government of the Bahamas. And I do not at this particular time. At no point. The government this New Day administration came in 2021. To this day, and we're in August 6th, 2025. I have not from then to now been a consultant with the government of the Bahamas. At no point.
Now, the Prime Minister has not announced when the next election will be, but we see stuff ramping up. We see, candidates being ratified. We see all of that happening. One of the hot topics every election is immigration. Do you think that governments, past, previous, those who want to get in, leaders of parties, actually care and want to do something about the immigration problem? Or do you think that it's used as a hot button topic in order to get votes?
Of course, it's used as a hot button topic. Without the immigration topic, people like Lincoln Min would be like the...
Yeah, there are lots of other things that we could talk about. Poverty, the cost of living, crime. There are lots of other things that we could touch on besides immigration.
Are they touching on them though?
They have. I think that a lot of the parties have mentioned. There's one particular party that the COI is very staunch with the illegal immigration issue.
That's their thing. That's their claim to fame. Without immigration, illegal immigration, undocumented Haitians, all of this other stuff, the COI would be an afterthought.
In their defense, they have also raised concern about other issues that the government has raised. But so you do think that they use it as a hot button issue?
If there is an interview and somebody asks them a question on something, if you ask them what goes on the wheels of cars, of course they would answer and tell you tires. They would mention it. But when you leave it up to them to create their posts and to try to go viral and gain traction, they jump on immigration and they jump on Haitians. When they do their live feeds, where are they? Always in the shanty town and going in this place and that place on that island and all of this other stuff. But what are they doing and talking about? Crime, as opposed to knocking the good commissioner of police and knocking the minister of national security or some other thing. What are they proposing to do to solve crime, to solve education, healthcare, agriculture?
They've had proposals, but I think immigration is a hot button.
And that's all they talk about.
But also on the flip side as well, you do have governments, people trying to get into power, parties also using it in a different way, meaning they hire people like yourself. I'm not saying you. They would hire people like yourself to go into the community to garner votes from the Haitian community by promising
but that's politics.
permits, residency, citizenship.
I don't know if they do all of that, but I haven't, and I don't know.
You don't think that happens? You don't think I'm not saying any particular party.
I'm not saying I don't think. It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
You know what happens.
I'm just...
You know what happens.
But I've not seen it happen personally.
You have not heard a story about someone being promised a renewal of a work permit or citizenship or whatever in order to vote for. I'm not saying
migrants can't vote.
Migrants can't vote, but there are those that here legally that can vote that are related to those who are here illegally. Let's not act like governments have not shopped around in
legally. You're talking about Bahamians then?
Well, Bahamians with relation to Haitians, or Haitian Bahamians, or however you want to talk about it. Let's not act like governments have not shopped, They get to make sure that their auntie or their sister or their daddy gets straight. Okay. And so the governments would go to them, or those wanting to get into power, and say, hey, we will give y'all X, Y, Z if y'all vote for us. That happens.
So that's everybody.
I'm asking, I'm not blaming any particular party. I'm just saying
I think that's all of them. I remember during the campaign season for the 2021 general election, I'm sure the videos are out there somewhere on social media. Even Lincoln Min.
No, I don't know about that.
I'm telling you what
I don't know about that.
The views and opinions shared here are not of Sani, eyewitness, and beyond the headlines. Yeah. I'm saying this. I can remember the video where Lincoln Bean was in a shanty town on Cowpen Road. I'm saying this, Lincoln, Louis George, sue me. Lincoln Bain.
Sue him. Not me, not the show.
Right.
We don't have to call names.
Screenshot the clip, take it to court, where he was soliciting votes and telling the Haitian people why they should support the COI because they are going to do the right way. They're going to get them out of the shanty towns because they cannot continue to support parties that claim that they love them and are helping them, but yet continue to subject them to these particular dire situations in the shanty towns. Lincoln said that.
Okay, so if you have this video,
what I'm saying is, again,
if you have the video,
everyone panders in their way.
That's what I was asking. I wasn't blaming one particular party. I wasn't saying this government or I said those wanting
we
to come in.
pander to the persons in the inner city because we understand their situations and what they want and how they expect to get out of that situation. We pander to the police staff association, the teachers union, the taxi people, the nurses, the doctors. We understand the issues and we hear the cries. We take on their propositions and we hear what they have to say about, listen, these are the issues that we face in this sector, this sphere, this area, whatever. Okay, cool. We make the promises. This is what every political party does. The FNM is doing it right now. The COI is doing it right now. We do not know. The COI is saying that they'll give us $100,000 every single citizen. You don't want $100,000
Please, let's stay on track.
But that's what they said. They give you $100,000.
Okay, so you
again,
said
that's only pandering, in my opinion. Do we know if it's possible or not? We don't. But they're saying something to appease to you in hopes that you will decide to cast your very valuable one vote for them.
Okay, so my question to you is: you said you're not a consultant for the government. You're not being paid by this
never
government.
Have been.
You're not being paid by this government to
no
go into certain communities
and I never have been.
Okay.
At no particular point of time.
So are you doing it without getting paid?
But do I support it? I don't go in nowhere. Nobody sends me anywhere. I don't work for nobody. I work for me.
Okay. Just asking. The people want to know. I'm asking the questions that they're asking.
I am my own boss. I can tell you that.
Okay.
And I'm a man of conviction. What I believe in, you don't need to pay me to say. Okay. What I don't believe in, you can't pay me to say. I can tell you that. Believe that. Okay. I am a man of conviction. And I'm on record of going head to head with persons within this administration, the PLP government. When I started off as an activist, which political party was in power? The PLP. The PLP. Mr. Fred Mitchell was the Minister of Immigration and Foreign Affairs at the time. But I never had a personal issue against him. I may have had an issue with a particular policy or position that was proposed or presented at the particular time, and we could have foreseen what sort of issues it would have caused for, a certain faction within our community. But outside of that, no. So again, do I have a preference? We all do.
Okay. I think the music is about to start playing. I don't know. It's almost 9 o'clock. It's time to wrap up. Is there anything that you want the Bahamian public to know? Is there anything that you want to clear up? Any misconception?
I think we've cleared up everything. Again, it is publicly stated. Persons can play this, rewind it, screenshot it, clip it, however you want. I do not work for the government. I've never worked for the government. I know I didn't come here for that. But the last thing I want to say, though.
Okay.
Those slumlords, the persons that
back to shanty town, so it's time to wrap up.
But the landlords, we didn't touch them. We need to stop only. Listen, there's culpability. We need to look at accountability from the migrants that are living in those shanty towns.
Agreed.
But we also equally need to look at those Bahamians that own or are collecting and making a killing off of those persons, paying them to reside on those shanty towns.
I also agree. I believe that if somebody is harboring someone here illegally or taking money from them, that they should also be charged. But there's also culpability on the people that are living there.
Oh, definitely.
Knowing that they are living there
illegally.
Them up. Lock who up?
All of them.
Okay.
Lock up the people living, lock up the people who collecting. And let's sift through and figure out what the problem is.
Well, I hope I didn't get you in too much trouble. But thank you so much for joining us. And thank you guys for listening. That's our show. We'll see you right back here tomorrow evening for all of us here. I'm Francesca Brown. Have a good night.